Hello, everyone. This is Ben Schultz, also known in lesser cultures as The Fledgling, and I'm here to give you a 7-part, as it turned out, video tutorial on my demo of Deer in the Headlights by Owl City. This was a fantastic tune that Adam Young released this past year, and it was really exciting for me to finally hear something new that he put out instead of Ocean Eyes, which it's okay, but his sound has definitely matured over the years. One of the coolest things I found in this album was in this song, and it's the cool pitch slides he uses. And I thought, neat, how in the world does he do that? And so I fired up Logic to see how I could do it. And as it turned out, I threw together a demo in one morning, and it was very badly rendered and very badly mixed and so forth. But it was just to see how I could achieve that. So I discovered a lot of things on the way, and gotten a few requests on how in the world I did it as well. So I will be here to indulge your curiosity and tell you exactly what I did. This 7-part series is going to be divided up thusly. So in this section, the first part is the starting off part, and I'm going to ask you a question I'll get to later. The second, third, and fourth parts are all dealing with the synthesizers, because that was the main gem in this journey, if you will. I'll cover synth sound design, get into hyperdraw, which sounds more scarier than it is, and then some tips and tricks on beefing up your synth section. The fifth part will be on the main percussion. The sixth part will be on mixing, and I'll cover things like using multi-outputs in Ultrabeat and compression and EQ and all those fun things and automation. And then the seventh part will be the conclusion, and I'll point you to more resources you can go to if you want to do even more of this, to enrich your music experience and to learn from other people, so you can use those same concepts to create your own original songs. So let's jump right into this. The first question I'm going to ask you is a very simple one, and you can use this as a guide for any song you want to recreate to learn more about. And it's this: what do you hear? And the ear is going to pick up on a lot of things at once, but the brain can only process so much at the same time. And the brain hears the main instruments, or what you're meant to hear. So obviously, for example, the vocals or the lead guitar or the percussion are stereotypical things that are going to jump out at you and say, hey, I'm here, and this is part of what makes the track unique. And so in this short excerpt I did of Deer in the Headlights, I want to ask you this: what do you hear? I'll play the track up to measure 15, which is how far I did my little demo, and you can, while it's playing, take a pen and paper or open a text file and start writing down every instrument or every track you hear, and to see how much you can catch in just one pass. I challenge you. After it's done, I'll go into what I heard and how to lay all that out. So, without further ado, here we go. Alright, I know you wanted to go on, but we have to stop here. So, what did you get? I definitely heard piano, at least 2 percussion kits, at least 3 synthesizers, an electric guitar, and strings. What I'll be dealing with in this first tutorial is just laying out the groundwork, putting notes in, and just getting things on paper or on the disc, if you will. So these are the main instruments I heard. Piano, the compressed percussion in the beginning, which is panned hard to the left, and I'll get to that in the 6th part of how to heavily compress that and make it sound like it does. The bass synth, obviously, and then the strings as a pad. And I'm going to go and do the first instrument for you just to give you an idea of how I go about this. And then I'll leave the rest up to you to find for yourself. But I will come back after I've done all this and explain what I did. So here we go. So the first instrument is a piano. So I'm going to get a new software instrument up here. 1 is fine. And I will open my sampler. A cool feature in this, if you want to find a specific type of instrument, you can hit find. Oops. And then it'll pare down the list of hundreds of instruments you have installed, maybe have installed, and just give you what you want. So I'm looking for a keyboard here, a piano, and I found that the Grand Piano Punchy gives me the closest sound to what I need. And take a listen to how that one sounds. And I've obviously had the sustain pedal on, but that's basically how that sounds. And so now that I have my instrument selected, I need to get into the business of making music and making MIDI notes. So I'm going to right click on this track and hit create empty MIDI region, and then double click on it to bring this piano roll up. And I know from experience and from a lifetime of being in music stuff that this is in D majors, so I'm going to, let's see here, I want to put my headphones on and listen. Oh, that's an octave low. All right. Now I need a note. I'm going to go over here and get my pencil tool. And that's the right click or the command click tool. So I hold down command, and there's your D. You are now one step closer to finishing. All right. Cool tip if you want to copy and drag, or drag by copying. No, copy by dragging in Mac. And this is especially awesome in editing MIDI notes and whatnot. You hold down Alt and click and drag, and you'll be able to position the note wherever you want. And this works for a number of things. Like you can drag a selection around MIDI notes and drag and copy those. The possibilities are virtually endless, which is really nice. So I'm concerned with just a small portion of this here, so I'm just going to copy one note at a time. A viola, as they say. And that's it. This piano part repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. So that's the basic sound I want. It loops, as I figured out. So I'm going to drag the upper right corner of this as far as that goes. And take a listen. And this is pretty much the gist of it. I'll get into how to add the sustain pedal later in another section, but that's basically the piano part. All right, now I'm going to leave you for a little bit and putter around and come up with instruments, and then I will come back and tell you what I did, so sit tight.